How are you doing today on this wonderful Sunday? I hope you had a good weekend and still have a great little bit left of the weekend left as well. And I'm excited to talk to you about EB03, the set that is going to be so expensive and hard to get your hands on. I don't even know if I'll be able to get any of these cards. But as you can see by the title and the thumbnail of this video, I want to talk to you and share with you the top 10 cards that, in my opinion, I think you should be hunting out of this set. Now, this is biased. This is my own opinion. I think these are some of the better cards out of the set, or cards that you should be chasing for, I guess, collectability, but these are really for playability. And I'm also going to say that this was kind of tough. I feel like that there's a few obvious solid choices out of this set, but then there's also a lot of kind of duds, like cards that might be a little bit better as time goes on, but out of the gate just don't seem great. Don't get me wrong, there are good cards in here that we'll mention a little bit as well. Like, I'll even throw this one in here as well to talk about too. But like, I don't know, there's some obvious heavy hitters out of the set, but then there's also some stinkers. So off the gate, we have a couple green cards. We don't have any red cards in here, and we have a couple other cards. But before we jump into this, I do want to say I have some affiliate links in the description. Get yourself a new binder for Vault X using my link down below, or if you're buying any singles from TCG Player, use my link below. Both support the channel, and I really can't express to you how much it means if you use those links. It really does help support me a lot and lets me create more content like this for you. So if you like this content, smash that like button. Let's try to get to 15 likes. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, man. Don't be wasting any more time. Let's go ahead and get into this. Like I said, I don't have any red cards on here because honestly, I think they're all kind of just okay. Like, this Makino is whatever. A lot of them revolve around characters that have no base power. So they all go with this Uta and kind of with the red promo Uta leader from a long time ago, but also can be played in the red purple one. I don't know. They seem like some ass. Like, this Makino gives a character with no base effect plus 2k. It's got a 2k on it. This also is a blocker, and if your leader's multicolored and you have no characters with base power 6,000 or more, this gains 4k power. So if you're playing red purple Uta, and I guess you could play other leaders, but you probably play that in that deck because it's a film card. This becomes a 6k blocker for 3. Like, it's good. Sugar is good for Sugar. If your leader is Sugar, you play a Dofi Pirates with 6k power or less from your hand rested, and you probably want to play this Monet. This Hibari is alright for Kobe. This Baccarat is also okay for Film Uta. Ein, another 2k for Film Uta. This Red Uta is good for Film Uta. This Nami is good for the new and the old VV leaders, and then same with this event. But like, other than that, I just feel that the red cards are a little underpowered and kind of lacking unless you're going to play the VV leader or, I guess, Film Uta. This, like I said, is not bad for Kobe, but I think there's a better card in this set. So let's jump into the cards that I think are actually good. So starting off, we have a couple green cards. I think this Tashigi is not a bad card. I don't think it's a great card. I think it's pretty good, but I just don't know exactly where it's going to fit into stuff. Like, I could see this in Smoker for sure. I guess I could see it in some of our green / slop decks like Mihawk, maybe Zoro. On your opponent's turn, it can't be KO'd by your opponent's effects and gains blockers. So it's a blocker that cannot die from effects. Like, that's pretty good. I guess it's Borsalino. And then at the end of the turn, you can rest the Dawn and trash a card from your hand to set it as active. So, like, that's all right. I really don't like trashing a card from my hand to do that, though. So, like, it just seems all right. In Smoker, this does become a 7k, so that's pretty cool. And it doesn't die. So, like, I think that's pretty decent. I don't know, maybe there's some better application outside of that for this, but I would assume that's probably the best spot for it. I guess you could also play this in like an Isho deck, maybe. I don't know. It seems okay. There are some other good green cards in here as well, but Carrot being one of those other good green cards. This is a 6/7 with 1,000 counter. On activate main once per turn. If this was played this turn, KO an opponent's rested character with a cost of 5 or less, then plays a Zoo from hand. Really good card. This card's like really, really good. And especially with the new EB04 Carrot support that we got, like, this rounds the deck out very nicely. Like, we have another great summon for Mistums. I believe that Mistums can summon this. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I actually want to check real quick. No, it plays a 5 or less. So Mistums can't play that. Oops. you can still restand it with your big carrot, which is really cool. And then, like I said, just being able to kill stuff that your opponent or that your leader rests for free, like that seems pretty decent to me. I'm not gonna lie. I think this can take a slot of some other cards that are played in the deck. Next we have this 7-cost Uta, and I think this is a decent addition to your green film decks or maybe your Luffy leader. It's a 7/8, sets a Dawn active, then rests an opponent's Dawn or an opponent's 4 or less character. So not bad effect. But then at the end of your turn, you can rest one of your Dawns and set up to one of your film type characters as active. So lets you keep your film guys stood back up. Seems pretty decent. Maybe swing with some blockers. Like, it's an okay card, but I really put this in here. You know, at the beginning I said collectability. Any of the supers are also SPs in this set and are going to be very, very, very expensive and hard to get your hands on. But the Uta is also not only an SP, but the manga of the set. So this is also in here for collectability's sake. Next, we have Isuka, and let me go through the other green cards as well, because there's some decent ones. This card's decent for Odin, another 2K for Land of Wano and Odin, I guess. I don't really like the effect on it. Kuina, you could play this in Zoro or any slash leader. I just feel like this is kind of whatever. I guess you could play this in Krieg. You have this new Kami, and this actually does give Dawn to your Fishman or Mofolk leader and rest at 2 or less, but again, that just kind of seems like whatever to me. Like, it's okay. Not the best card I've ever read. We went over that. The Bonnie, I actually think is pretty decent. If your leader's Supernova, sets a Dawn active, then one of your opponent's character with cost of 8 or less cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next turn. Very good stun card, especially for a 5. Being able to stun an 8 or less, like, that's pretty good. You could drop 2 of these in the same turn and also get a Dawn back if you're playing like Bonnie leader or maybe a Law leader or something like that. So Kid, like, not bad. You can play this in the Luffy leader, I believe, is Supernova typing as well. So not a bad card. I think this Bonnie's actually pretty good. Carrot, we went over. Wanda, this is just another good blocker option for the Mink deck, another name. And then we have this, there you go, being a sore loser again, Uta counter event. It's like a 4K and has a trigger to stand something back active. So again, decent cards. I just think some of them fall short, whereas the others shine. So let's move on to blue cards, and I only picked one out, and it is this Isuka. This goes really well in the new Kuzan deck. I say new, but we got EB04 support for it that is really good, and this can go in there really well. It's a blocker that has a decent stat line of 6K, and on play, places a character with the cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So double summon this off a Garp, you're establishing a blocker and removing something from the field. Seems pretty good to me. But let's go over the rest of the blue cards because there are some other options. There's this Kaya that's a 2K and lets you rearrange the top of your deck. There's this Yu, which is, I guess, East Blue Nami new leader support, whatever. There's this Alvida that is, I guess, cross guild support. Doesn't seem great to me. I believe it KOs. No. It bottom decks a 4,000 base power and a 3 cost. So it's just kind of weird. Next we have this VV Super, which is good for your new VV leader. Plays a Straw Hat, Crew, or an Alabasta type card from your hand, and then also is a blocker. And then this Hina is also a decent card for Kuzan. It's just another body if you want one. This was kind of a 5 Dawn play if you wanted it instead of the new Isha, which is much better, but we didn't know that Isha was coming out. I don't know. This bounces a 6K base power to the owner's hand. That's kind of bad. The fact that it's not 6K base power or less, I think kind of makes it bad. We talked about the Asuka. I think this Hancock is pretty decent. This Boa is pretty decent. 6/8. On play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they put a card from the bottom from their hand to the bottom of the deck. Then activate main. You place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck. Oh. Give a leader and character a rested Dawn each. So, like, it's a good card for Blue Boa. Not too bad. Gets you some draws. Gets you some advantage against your opponent. And then we have this Marguerite, also decent for your Boa deck. Returns a character with 7,000 base power to the owner's hand. Same problem with this Hina. It's not base power or less, or this card would probably see a lot more play. And then we have Insolent Fool, Stand Down. This is a 1-cost event that lets you play a Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates type card from your hand and has a 3K counter on it, but you have to be playing Boa Hancock as your leader. So again, decent round out of blue cards here, but I did feel the Asuka is one of the better cards. Like, if you're playing Blue Boa still, like, I guess this is a good card, and if you want to test out the new Red Blue VV, this is also a good card, but I did find the Asuka better than the rest, and maybe I'm just favoring it because I am a Kuzan fan. Next, let's get into the purple cards, and I, again, only had one here, and it's the Vinsmoke Reiju. This card's crazy for Blue Purple Sanji. And I think this, combined with the EB03 support that we got, is going to make that deck pretty damn good. This lets you play an event card with a cost of 7 or less from your trash. Really, really strong. Like, you can just red rock on play this card, or you can grab blade from your trash, or any of your Sanji events from trash. This card's really, really strong, and yeah, I really like it. I think that makes the deck really, really good. But the other purple cards, again, just kind of whatever. This is a cat support card. This is also cat support, or putting cat support, just another 2K for Big Mom Pirates that you can play. This is some Dofi support, I guess, but really bad Dofi support. This is Lim support. This gives all your Odyssey plus 1,000. That's actually not too bad. A 1K buff for your board for the turn. That's not too bad. And it's a 2K. That's not bad. Here's a vanilla 2K. Here's the Reiju that we talked about. This Charlotte Brûlée that is also... This is just Kid effect. It just returns a Dawn when one is returned from your Dawn deck back to your field. And then this Lin Lin is actually pretty decent, being a card that draws a card and puts a card from the top of your hand to the top of your deck, then adds a Dawn from your Dawn deck active, so ramps you 1, and then also on KO heals you 1. So not a bad card at all on a decent stat line body. And purple Rocks Pirates, interesting, maybe some foreshadowing for a future set. And then we have this Reiju event, which is for Germa stuff, so you play some Germa stuff. Not too bad. But again, out of the purple cards, I did think that Reiju is honestly one of the only good cards out of here. That and maybe the Lin Lin. Like, I think the rest are just kind of okay. You know, they support their inherent decks. Like this might be played in Cat, but I feel like there's another better play. Maybe the Paris Bear is a better play. I don't fucking know. I don't play that deck. But I do think that the Reiju is the best out of the purple cards. But let's get into the black cards. And first off, we have Kujaku. I think this card's crazy. It's a 4/6. On your opponent's turn, all your characters with a sword type and a cost of 6 or less gain 2,000 power. When you're playing Kobe, that buffs almost your entire board. Like, other than your Helmeppo and your big Kobe, like, that buffs the whole fucking board, man. That's so good. It makes it so hard for your opponent to beat into those. And this stacks too. It's not just one. If you have 2 of these, your characters go up 4K on your opponent's turn. It's absolutely crazy. Also on play, trash a Navy card from your hand and draw 2 cards. This card is bonkers. This card is really, really, really good for Kobe. And if you're a Kobe fan, I definitely think you should pick this up and toss it into your deck. And then next we have Koala. This is actually a really, really solid card for not only Koala, but also Sabo. It's a 4/5,000 counter. If your leader has the Rev Army type, this character gains 4 costs. So this hits your Sabo leader effect instantly, making you a 6K or 5K leader, respectively, whatever you are. Pretty decent. And then opponent's turn on KO plays a character with a cost of 6 or less with the name Nico Robin, or with the revolutionary type other than Koala from your hand or trash. So lets you play a Robin blocker or a Kuma from your hand or trash, or any of your other Rev Army cards. Like, this card's really, really good. I think it's a really super solid card for the Rev Army black stuff. So definitely an auto pickup if you're a fan of the black Rev Army cards and leaders. So other black cards to talk about, we have this really bad Miss Valentine card. I don't even want to talk about it because it's mills some cards, and then when it dies, it draws a card. Like it's fine for Croc, but I don't think it replaces anything in the deck. We also have this Rebecca that is a blocker, takes a Dressrosa stage from the top of your deck, and then puts the rest on the bottom and plays a Dressrosa stage. So I guess if you're still playing Dressrosa, Usopp, or Rebecca, you can search for your stage now and play it instantly. I don't know. We have Black Maria that also does the same thing, and is a blocker that plays an Onigashima Island. So for King, finding your island early and quick. This Perona I wanted to include in here as well because I do think this is a good card. I just wanted to do top 10, and I guess I slid the S-Snake in there. I can toss the Perona in there. It's whatever. This is my video. Drill me in the comments if you're mad at 12 cards instead of 10. This is a blocker that gives a Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you play a Thriller Bark type card with a cost of 2 or less from your trash rested. So not a bad card at all. Good blocker for Moria. Yeah, decent card. I think it's a decent card. Next, we have this Double Finger, and this one is also not good. It draws you a card on play, and then when it dies, it trashes 2 cards from the top of your deck. Like, it's just okay. There's definitely better cards you can play in the deck. Next, we have Khalifa. This is a 2K for your CP9. Then we have Ulti that also is a filter and plays a base power, no base effect character from your trash. It's just a bad card. It's fine. It's whatever. Stussy, a big blocker for your CP deck, and gets to KO a 4 or less. It's actually not a bad card. And then we have this card that I actually do think is kind of crazy. This is basically just Moria for Thriller Bark Pirates. I don't really think it changes the decks that much and or game breaks old OG Black Moria or Perona, but I do think they're pretty decent. It's a pretty decent card. So rest 7 Dawn. If your leader is Perona, play a Thriller Bark Pirates type card, their character card with a cost of 6 or less, and one with a cost of 4 or less from your hand or trash. So you get to summon a 6 and a 4 from your trash for 8 Dawn. I think that's pretty good. Next we have yellow cards, and this is the majority of where the cards live for the good cards out of this set, and actually I think number-wise has the most in here as well. So off the rip we have Nami. This is the #1 best card in the set in my opinion. This is a new yellow staple that is going to be included in every single yellow deck until this card inevitably gets banned, in my opinion. I think this is going to get limited or banned or power crept. One of the, like, it's got those 3 options because this card is really, really strong. It's really good. Like, we have a card that already does this in Nico Robin, the 6 cost, but like this is just better. 5/6, 1000 counter, give up to 1 Rested Dawn to your leader. Then if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, your opponent adds 1 card from the top of your life to their hand. So you're making your opponent take a life on turn 3 and also getting a Dawn on your leader. So for Nami leader, this is broken, but also for any other leader, this also lets you hit for 6k the same turn that you're playing this on 5 Dawn. Crazy. And then on KO, you can turn the top card of your life face up and play a character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. So you can play another one of these if your opponent kills it and make them take another life. It's crazy. This card is absolutely bananas, and there's so many good targets to play off of this, and it's just a really, really powerful card. I might be like yapping a bit here and saying how powerful this card is, but this is a really, really strong card. Like, Kuma is an auto include in most yellow decks right now. This is right there with Kuma. So be prepared to spend some good money to get this card if you are a yellow player or want to play yellow in this deck's format. Next, we have this S-Snake card that I threw in here at the last minute. This is a 6/7 with the 1000 counter. On play, if your leader has the Egghead type and you have 2 or more life cards, add a character card with a trigger from the hand to the top of your life cards face up. I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. It's really late. But this is a decent card, you know, for Vegapunk or even the Egghead Luffy or even, what's the other one? I'm bugging. The Bonnie. And the new red-yellow Bonnie. Like, this is a decent card. This lets you heal and heal what you want. So, really good card. It has a trigger also that stops a 6 or less other than Luffy from attacking for the turn. So, good card. Next, we have Robin. This is, like, #2 in the set for me, in my opinion, for like, power level. Fortunately, this is leader locked to Straw Hat Crew leaders, but guess what? We now have, like, 4 yellow Straw Hat leaders that can play this, so be prepared for those because they're going to be everywhere. This is a 7/8 that on play trashes a card from the top of your life, and if your leader has Straw Hat 2 type, add up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So you trash 1, heal 2. It's heal 1, but it makes you trash 1 because if you're playing blue-yellow Nami, you get the trigger to draw a card. Really good, and yeah, I mean, it's just a super solid card. And then on opponent's turn, on KO, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Now, that wording is very specific in the fact that it is not your opponent takes 1 life or your opponent trashes their life. It is deal a damage. So that is equivalent to me hitting you with my leader for 5k on your 5k leader and you not doing anything about it and taking the hit. That is dealing a damage. If you are at 0 life and you kill this, you will lose the game. This card is very, very powerful. So you have to watch out for that. Don't try and kill the Robins. It's very, very strong. And there's actually very funny combo with Purple Yellow Croc where you make them kill this with Oh Come My Way. So really, really funny. And it will kill them. It's really, really funny. Next we have Law. And I think this is the other really good yellow card out of this set. It is really only good for Rosinante right now. And I guess green, yellow Law. I guess you can play this in Kid too. I'm yapping. Any deck that can play the yellow Law Supernova 7 cost from OP10, this card is good for. It's an 8/6, 1000 counter, has rush, and you can trash this card, and you can trash 1 card from your hand and this character. Add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then play a Law with a cost of 7 or less from your hand. So you play this, rush, trash it, heal, play the Law, heal, Really, really good. For 8 Dawn, you're hitting and double healing in the same turn while also establishing a big body. I think this card is nuts. I just think that we need a better leader to facilitate how nuts this card really is. So with that being said, let's go over the other yellow cards and we will round out this video. Next we have Conus. This is a 2 cost with a counter on it. On play, a Sky Island type character gains double attack this turn. Not bad if you want to beef up one of your dudes for the turn, I guess. We have Charlotte Smoothie. This is a 3/3 2K, and if you have a face-up life card, KO an opponent's character with a cost of 2 or less, then turn all your life cards face down. Not bad. Then we have Shirahoshi. This is a 3 with a 1000 counter. You can trash this character if your leader Shirahoshi. Add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then all your Neptunian type cards gain 1000 power this turn. I think this card's actually really, really good for Shirahoshi. I think that deck just suffers from the leader not attacking. Like, if that leader could attack, I think that deck would be really, 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 really good. But unfortunately, it cannot attack, so that really just holds it back significantly. But this being able to heal yourself and then also buff all your dudes, I think that's super solid, especially with the EB04 support that we got for that deck as well. Next, we have this Robin that on play trashes a card from the top of your life and adds a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So, not bad if you want a different life card, I guess. I don't know. It seems okay. Next, we have Bello Betty. This is a 4/3 with a 2K. You can turn a card from the top of your life cards face up and KO an opponent's character with a base cost of 3 or less. Not bad. You know, this is another Bello Betty 2K, I guess. I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't think it's the best card in here. I really do like this Yamato card. A 5/6 with a 1000 counter. On play, gives 3 Dawn to your Land of Wano type leader. Then on KO, trash the top card of your opponent's life. Really strong. I think this card's really strong for Yamato, and I guess the yellow Yamato leader if you're playing that. But green yellow Yamato takes crazy big advantage of this, being able to swing huge with that double attack leader, and then your opponent just doesn't want to kill this until they're at 0 life because they'll have to trash a card. Really good. Next, we have this Lilith. Your turn on play. If you have 2 or less life cards, draw a card. It has a trigger to play itself if you're Vegapunk, so if you trigger this out, you don't get that effect, but if you play this on your own turn, you do get to draw a card. So, not bad. Play it for 1 Dawn, draw a card. I think that's pretty decent. And then finally, the last card is this Will You Be My Servant event, and this is for Nami. If your leader's Nami, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal a card with a cost of 2 to 8, and then add it to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. This searches anything in your deck if you want. So, really super solid card. Definitely something to consider if you're... I'm not even consider. This is a 4 of in your Nami deck. Like, if you're playing blue, yellow Nami, this is a really, really solid card and definitely something you're going to need to pick up. But again, like I said, I think this set has a lot of good cards in here. We didn't talk about the VV leader. I think this VV leader is just all right. It had a lot of hype behind it, but it's just okay. There's a lot of good cards in here. There's a lot of stinker cards in here. I feel like it's just like every EB set. You're going to have a bunch of little duds here and there that are just common and uncommon cards, but you're also going to have a lot of bangers that are your rares and super rares. So be on the lookout for these cards. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what the best cards out of this set are in the comments below. Let me know if you think I missed any or if I misread the application of some of these to the extent that I completely overlooked them. But yeah, I think these are your top 12 banger cards out of this set, and I'd love to know what you think. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.